under the weather, so to speak. I've had a little, I rarely ever get this, but I've had a little vertigo and stuff, so I will not be doing the poses with you this evening, all right? I'll be like my swim coach. I'll put the workout on the wall, and then you do it. No, I'll call out the poses, and we'll go from there.
This is restorative.
Sorry about that. What?
It's restorative today, right?
Larry?
Yes.
You know that all of my classes are restorative, even when they're not.
Maybe this will cheer you up a little bit.
What?
Go ahead.
What about cheering up, Paul?
I thought this might cheer you up a little bit. What did the mayonnaise jar say to the refrigerator?
No.
Close the door. I'm dressing. Oh, you talked over it. Close the door. I'm dressing. Yeah.
Close the door. I'm dressing.
Right.
Let me go shovel some snow.
It's better than what Paul's shoveling, I'll tell you that.
That's right. Absolutely correct.
Okay. Enough of this jocularity. Let's settle in. Thanks, Paul. Settle into your sitting posture. Spine loosely straight, limbs relaxed. Before you even put a label of meditation on what you're doing, just recognize that you are aware in the wake of this present moment. Now your attention may be going here and there, but you are aware, effortlessly experiencing this present moment through your sense gates, your mind, your heart. And gently rest your attention on the experience of your natural breath. Have a sense of the mind descending from the head and diffusing itself throughout the body, and being receptive to the natural breath.
Saha Viriram Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yogena Shitatsya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Chavaichikena Yopakaratam Pavaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrasita Harinam Sahasrashir Samsvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Hari Om.
Start with downward dog pose today with the hands into the wall. If you have a wall nearby, turn the hands out, thumb and index finger pressing into the wall for down dog. Adho mukha svanasana. All the fingers spread, even though you're pressing more from the thumb and index finger. Extend, push away from the wall so the side of the body feels like it's lengthening out of the arms. Slightly hug inward from the wrist to the armpits. Bring the skin toward the bone. Keep the neck long. Don't tuck the throat too much. Keep the throat neutral. Use the arms to make the side body longer with every breath. Draw the inner thigh and back thigh up. Don't try to push backward through the knee joint. Just draw the bone up into the socket. And then bend the knee, come down. And turn around, do dog pose now with the heels up on the wall. Have them as high up as your flexibility of your toes will permit. But when you place your heels, lift your feet up so you're on the ball mount more than the toes. So one at a time, and then extend into dog pose.
Are the heels on the wall?
Yes, they're up on the wall. Press the ball mount as you press back through your heel. Sharply lift the shin, inner thigh, back thigh up. Untuck the sit bones toward where the wall meets the ceiling up there. Again, hugging in from the outer wrist to the outer armpit, but at the same time, broadening the shoulder blades, not gripping your neck. And then bend the knees, come down, relax. Okay, then take uttanasana. Start with concave spine, not rounding your back in other words. Uttanasana. Whew. Again, anchor the inner heel, outer heel. Draw the inner and outer legs up into the socket. So it's the dynamic of the leg is always up. You don't push backward from the knee joint. You're drawing the bone up. Soft belly though. Don't let the action of the leg, the strong action of the leg, get transferred into your abdomen. Stay soft behind your navel. And take your hands as far back as you can. And begin to stretch the side trunk down. Take the head down. As you draw the thigh bone up into the socket, extend the floating ribs away from the pelvic rib. So you're not trying to push your back towards your legs, you're lengthening the sides of the torso and lengthening from the heart center to the collarbones. So even though the thoracic spine, the upper back rounds a little bit, internally you're doing a little back bend. You should never feel like you're squeezing the chest toward the breastbone. Spread that inner space. And then inhale, breath, and come up. Go to tadasana. Now, turn on your mat to take a few standing poses, so you might need to turn to the side. Stand in tadasana. Mountain pose. Join the feet if you can, or at least have the feet parallel. Externally rotate your arms and take them up to virhab. If you can keep the elbows from bending, go ahead and join the palms like you're doing namaste, virhab. Otherwise, just keep the arms parallel. Again, rooting the inner outer heel evenly. Draw the inner thigh, back thigh up. The tailbone releases in, you don't push it in hard. And then you have a sense of the tail, from the tailbone ascending to the base of the skull. At the same time, lengthen and lift behind the sternum. Side body lifting up away from the pelvic rib. And exhale, take the arms down to the side. Step the legs about 4 feet apart. Turn the right thigh out, the left foot in. Extend the arms. Go into trikonasana to the right. Keep the chest turning, open. So again, from the grounding of the heels, draw the legs up. Even if you have to micro bend the right knee a little, that's better than feeling like you're pushing through your knee joint. Have a sense of rolling that left armpit chest back so the right rib cage comes under you, it's not behind. And then inhale, breath, come up. Keep the arms extended parallel to the shoulders. Turn the left thigh out, the right foot in. And exhale into trikonasana. Check that left foot. There's a tendency to be on the outer heel too much. Have as much weight on the inner left heel as you have on the outer heel. Extend the sole as if you're pushing the mat away with your foot to draw the back leg up toward the socket. And then the right inner thigh is also lifting up. You connect the earth to the spine through your legs. Roll the right armpit chest back and turn. A bit of a twist. And inhale, breath, come up. Turn the feet forward, step back into tadasana. Take the legs 4 feet apart or so. Upper step the legs wide. Turn the right thigh out, left foot in. Extend the arms. Bend the right leg to virhab 2, with the knees over the center heel. The shin bone should hit a little toward the calf muscle. As you look over your right arm, slightly turn your upper chest to the left. So you're not just rotating your torso toward the bent leg. Then rest the left hand on your hip and extend out over the right leg into parsvakonasana. Bring the right hand to the floor, outside your thigh. Then extend the left arm over the ear, as if it's coming from the left heel. Extend the right waist away from the pelvic rib, as if you were going to close the gap between the waist and the top of your thigh. As in trikonasana, keeping the right leg pressing a little back against your arm, roll the left armpit chest back. Then grounding through your left heel, deep inhale, breath lifting you out of the bones on that side. Keep the arms extended, turn the left thigh out, the right foot in. Wait there. Lift out of the bowl of the pelvis and bend the left leg to virhab 2. Ascend to descend. The left shin hits toward the calf muscle slightly, and the chest releases a little bit from left to right. Rest the right hand on the hip. Open the shoulder back and extend out over your left leg into parsvakonasana. Then extend the right arm as if the arm were going to go behind your ear. Turn the chest that much. But keep the left leg slightly pressed against the arm. That way. Keep the left side of the neck long if you turn your head. And then pressing into the back heel, take a deep inhale breath to come out of the pose. Turn the feet forward, but wait there. Bring the hands down onto your hips. Make sure the feet are now pointing straight ahead. We're going to take, you are going to take pascimotanasana. Left foot in a little bit. So lifting up out of the bowl of the pelvis, exhale forward, bring the hands to the floor if you can, concave spine. Look a little bit forward with a soft gaze. Now the weight tends to drop onto the outer heel, so roll to the inner heel slightly, but keep the little toe extended to activate the arches of the feet. Then draw the legs up into the sockets, not just pushing back. Lengthen the sternum away from the navel. Be careful with the cat. And then walk your hands back with the torso and head down to your capacity. Some of you might go to the floor. Keep the elbows in over the wrists. Widen the shoulder blades by lifting them away from the neck the way you would in headstand. If the head doesn't quite go to the floor, just put your head on your block. If it's handy. Yeah, great. Now those of you who are strong in the pose, reach out and hold your heels or your calves. But keep lifting the inner thighs up. Shoulders up. Eyes, tongue, jaw, always relaxed in every pose. Okay, bring the palms back to the floor. Go back to concave spine. Wait. My bad. Keep the hands as far back as you can and come to concave spine. If you need to walk them forward a little bit, of course you should. Like that. And tailbone in, lengthen the spine, inhale, come up, and heel toe a little bit if you you need to go back into tadasana. Take a block. If you only have one block, you can use a rolled up blanket. So the first block is going to go this position under the shoulder blades, all right? Lengthwise, but narrow. If you have a second block, that'll be your head support. If you don't have a second block, take a blanket, roll it up to support the head, okay? So, you sit in front of the block. This pose I can demonstrate for you. And lie back so the block is between the shoulder blades, just below the neck. Extend the legs to dandasana. Then you have a head support. So the forehead should not tilt back. Extend the legs, roll the thighs in, ground the femur. Tadasana, feet and legs. Tuck all the buttocks under. Be as high on the flesh at the top of the buttock as you can. Extend the arms up with your fingers pointing to the ceiling to start. But draw the upper arm down so it's below the armpit. The collarbones stay at their maximum width. And then extend the arms over the head. They may or may not go to the floor. That's not the goal. Extend toward the wall behind you. Keep the outer armpit deltoid rolling up. The inner head of the humerus armpit descending. Relax the throat. Wide collarbones. Try not to push the chest down into the supporting block. There's weight, of course, you're being supported, but have a sense of the thoracic spine extending across the support block, going through the neck and connecting to the base of the skull. So there's weight on the block, but you're not pushing down into it. In fact, even the back ribs should have a sense of broadening away from the spine just as much as the front ribs. Active legs, just more tadasana action in the legs. Roll the thighs in. I don't know if Carlton has ever shared my mantra with you. It's a very powerful mantra. Wide feet are happy feet. You can add a little Om Namah Shivaya to that if you want.
Shiva
Or Hare
Om
Krishna.
Namah.
Or Jai Guru Dev, whatever floats your boat. Okay, bring the arms up and over. Wide feet are happy feet. Come out of the pose. Okay, then place the block at this higher setting. You may need to add a little more there, something for head support, Jess. I'm not sure what you've got lying around there. The cat will probably not be a good idea to use as a prop. My cat doesn't tend to like that. So in this one, you can keep the legs straight in dandasana, or if you can, do the pose by sitting in virhab. Arch the back a little to find the block. Dome the chest, and then adjust so you have a head support block. Either dandasana or virassana legs. If you're in virhab, the butt should stay on the floor. So if it doesn't, you might need a little height under the tukka, which is Sanskrit for butt. Okay. Then extend the arms over the head again and bend the elbows and bring the palms to your head support. And roll the arms in so the elbows point back to the ceiling. Rotate the outer arm in. You can put your hands on the sides of your blankets there, yeah? Next to your head, good. Okay. Then again, as in the previous pose, extend the thoracic spine through the neck, connected to the base of the skull, rather than pushing the chest down onto the support block. I know there's weight there, but you don't want to push down. Breathing freely, widening the back and the front ribs. Eyes, tongue, jaw relaxed. And some of you might be able to take the head support block to the next lowest setting. If not, just stay where you are. In this one, the head is allowed to tilt back a little as long as you're supporting that by doming the chest and thoracic spine. Right? And bring the arms up and over, plant the palms and arch up out of the bones. And then gradually extend your legs. Out of, if you are in virhasana, of course. Okay. So we're going to work out pincha mayarasana. You can either work the base pose. I don't know if you've been trained in this pose yet, but it's called forearm balance. Have you done that one? At least the base? Okay. Sometimes you need a strap around the elbow, right? And the palms on the block. So go to the wall. If you don't kick up, that's cool. You can just work on the base pose. All right? So you have a block. The block and the strap are so the forearms stay parallel. Yeah? And unfortunately, I'm not going to kick up in that tonight. But if you can't kick up, an alternative is to walk your feet up the wall with the forearms on the floor. So either way. Or just work the base pose, Larry. Good. Well, Larry, walk your knees back farther so they're under your hips at a right angle. There you go. Now, when you press the block, Larry, press the little finger side of the palm more. Nice. So lift out of the collarbones, armpits down, looking good. And gradually come down out. Come down lightly, Betsy. Lightly. I better keep my practice up because I got to keep up with you, Dan. Okay. Back into downward dog. Hands into the wall. you'll walk back a tiny bit with your feet. A little bigger stance. There you go. Jess, you too. Walk back an inch or two with your feet. Good. Press the ball mounts to lift the shin and the inner thigh up. Untuck the sit bones. The side ribs lift toward the pelvic rim. Be careful of, don't push your belly towards your thighs. Lift the side ribs up as you extend from the armpit through the hips. Otherwise, you end up doing banana dog. And then behind the navel, unless you're in the moon lodge on your cycle, behind the navel, lift up into the bowl of the pelvis as you extend the lumbar spine and groin much more. This shouldn't cause you to harden the breath, though. Much deeper down. And bend the knees, come down and rest. That's enough rest. Camel pose, ustrasana, kneeling and arching back to the feet, huh? Little basic back arches this evening. So, if you can't go to the feet, you can always put blocks outside your calves or a bolster across your calves. Press down from the toenail to the knee and arch the back. Now the pelvis is going to fall back a little, which is normal, but now bring the outer hips forward. Contract the hamstrings and lift the lumbar, lift the floating ribs away from the tuck of the sit bone. And dome the very upper part of the thoracic spine to take the head back. Err on the side of moving the hips too far forward. Grounding from toes to knee, tailbone in, increase the back bend to come out of the pose. Breathe. Then sit back on the heels. Do not bend forward yet. You can sit back on the heels, just don't do a forward bend. One more camel pose. This is a two-humped camel tonight. Go fast, Betsy. There you go. Press toenail to knee, contract the hamstrings, outer hips forward, lift the floating ribs, lumbar up, and dome the chest. Then have a sense of that you're lifting off the arms where it meets the armpit chest. So the armpit is coiling, spiraling upward. And increase the back arch with your inhalation breath and then sit back on the heels. Then let the knees go a little apart and take the forehead down to the floor. Bend forward. Breathe into the side ribs, the back ribs. And then gradually sit up and take supta virhasana. Supta virhasana. Sitting between the heels, lying back. Use what height you need. If you don't need a lot of height, that's fine. You don't always have to do the pose on a bolster. Most people need a bolster, but if you don't need it, that's fine. Supta virassana. Extend the arms over the head. Now notice, there's a tendency to kind of overarch where the lower ribs are, where the lumbar spine meets the thoracic spine. So don't use your abdominals to do this. In fact, drop your attention into that lower back rib area. Invite that space to widen away from the spine. You're still tucking from the buttock toward the sit bone, but without gripping around your kidneys. Huh? So gradually you come lower and lower down with your back ribs in contact with the floor or your support bolster. And then use the arms to refine the symmetry of the pose. Extend both side bodies evenly. But then see that symmetry of extension on the outer frame of the torso is also reflected on both sides of the spinal column. Eyes, tongue, jaw, always relaxed in every pose. And gradually come out of the pose. And extend your legs. Take your time. Feeling restored yet, Larry? Not quite. We're going to keep going until Larry feels restored. Shoulders stand. Yeah, sarvangasana. So, Jess, could you reset your base? Have your shoulders more toward the edge of the blanket. So your neck is at the very edge of the blanket, not so much of your neck is on the blanket. So be just a couple inches farther back on your blanket support. Okay? Give it, yeah, just enough room to roll over without falling off the blanket. So Might have to play with that a little bit. All right. Up and over, up you go. Extend the legs. Pull your legs back just a bit. Extend the groin space. There, good. Yeah, better. Yes, better. Grounding the upper arm in such a way that you feel like you're lifting off the throat and the neck. So that it doesn't feel like energetically the chest is sitting on the neck or the throat. So you can use your upper arm grounding, your forearms helping the back, and your inner back muscles engaging. If you're on the chair, you still want to keep the shoulder blades in a strong lift toward the back body. So again, you're not sitting on your neck or your throat. Then go to plow pose, halasana. If you can, if you're on a chair, that's not always doable, but if you can, take plow pose. Or you can slide off, do some variation. Then release your strap, then roll down out of the pose, slide off the chair. Okay, you're going to set up Setu Bandha, supported Setu Bandha on the block in such a way. I put a bolster at the wall, so the feet are a little off the ground, but the sole of the foot can press into the wall. If you need more height than that, go ahead, use it. If you can do heels to the floor, that's okay too. So, not everybody needs the bolster under the heels is what I'm saying. You might be able to drop the legs lower down. It's good to start with the bolster at least, or come in and out of it a time or two and see how it goes. So we're taking Setu Bandha on the block then. And the feet to the wall. Use height, yeah. You want to be able to ground the feet into the wall. doming the chest. Relax the throat though. Let the chin float slightly. So you're not blocking off the throat center. Stay with your breath. Even if it's just, it could be simple breath awareness or maybe an intentional breath. But be with the breath. Adjust the pose so that the breath can flow evenly, whether it's an intentional light ujjayi breath or whether it's simple breath awareness. Of course, there's nothing simple about breath awareness. All right, now keep the left foot pressed into the wall. Bring the right leg in and up to Ekapada Setubandha. So the right leg draws into the chest and extends up toward the ceiling. I think the blocker's too far towards your lumbar there, chest. I don't know. Might need to move it under your sacrum a little more. Press the left foot into the wall. Nice tadasana with the right leg, right foot. Dome the chest. Let the chin float, but move the chest toward the head without blocking the throat. That way. And if you can, extend the right leg straight to the wall. If you need to bend the knee and then extend it to the wall, you can do that. Then reset, grounding both feet to the wall. And pressing the right ball mound, big toe mound. Take the left leg in and up. Ekapada Setubandha sarvangasana. And bring the left leg down. And then walk the feet in, lift up, come out of the pose. All right, then take a supported Jatara Parivartanasana. What's that, you may ask? I will show you. So, Jatara means la belly. So I have a bolster by my right hip, but I shift my right hip way under and I rest my legs on the bolster, but then I have to adjust. I want to get my right hip way under me, so the left hip is on top, but then I have to adjust my upper back so my left shoulder blade stays on the floor. If you need more height, take more height. The right arm should be above the bolster. And the legs are tadasana. Thighs roll in. So this is a supported version. So you can, the Jatara Parvartanasana means rolling the abdomen in the opposite direction of pelvic rotation. So internally, you're rolling the belly from right to left. So there's a little bit of work in the abdominal obliques, but not a hard grip. Use the grounding of the arms to assist that process and find a little bitty back bend just below the neck and untuck the chin. If you can, after you've been in the pose a bit, bring the feet higher up toward the hands. Keep the thighs rolled in. Keep the legs tadasana sized. If you don't have any lower back issues, you can strongly draw the inner thighs toward the sockets and bring the legs up with them straight. Otherwise, bend the knees and roll back. There we go. All right. Bring the legs down and then shift the bolster support to the other side. Jatara Parvartanasana. So bolster, for most people, the bolster is relatively close to the hip. If it works for you to have it farther away, that's okay. But then adjust, get that left hip way under you so the right hip is stacked right on top. But then adjust the back body so you're not just completely tilted over to the left armpit. Adjust so that the right shoulder blade stays in contact with the floor. Use your arms to help you rotate the belly now from left to right, and the chest a little bit too. Strong tadasana, feet and legs. You want a sense like you do in tadasana of drawing the legs toward the thighs toward the sockets. So even though your legs are supported, they're not just resting there. And then after you've been in it a bit, if you can bring the feet a little higher up. Some of you might actually be able to grab a hold of the foot or not. And then you can use that leverage to twist the torso a little more. Hello, kitty cat. That's okay, that's fine. And then if you can bring the legs up straight, do that. Otherwise, bend the knees to come in and up. And then lower the legs. Yeah. Roll to the side and come up. Then take a head supported pascimotanasana. Forward bend. Use whatever height you need, a block, a bolster, a chair. Lift up and out of the groin and rest your head Find a very easy heart to start with. You can always go a little farther down as you receive the pose. Again, wide feet or happy feet. And take shavasana. Let go, let loose everywhere. surrendering the bones to gravity, releasing, relaxing in such a way that the breath flows freely and easily. Refresh your mindfulness if you've drifted. Resting in that lucid clarity of awareness, knowing the body and breath just as they are right now. Gradually come out of shavasana. Dedicating the merit gathered through our practice, sharing it, gradual awakening freedom of all beings everywhere. Om
Pranamada, Pranamadam, Pranamadachate, Pranasya, Pranamadaya, Pranameva Vishishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Namaste. Thanks, everybody.
Namaste.
Okay, Larry, restored?
Better, Larry. I mean, William.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
great class. I'm fully restored. It takes me let's hear it for Windows 8.1. They're still
Good luck, man. Yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming, Jess.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
William. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. You're welcome back anytime.
Oh,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much.
See you, Dan. Take care. Bye, Clea G.
Thank you, William. I hope you feel better.
Welcome, Betsy.
Thank you.
I'm coming out of it. Thank you.
Good.